Okay guys, welcome back. So today we're going to continue solving systems by substitution, but this one changes from yesterday. So yesterday I gave you like one equation and then the other one was y equals a number or x equals a number. Here you're going to get two equations, so you have to know how to substitute them. So we're going to start off with the y equals, and the y equals are simple. So whenever they both equal y equal, like these two right here, right there and right there, you can't see, right there and right there, they're both y equals. All you have to do is just set them equal to each other. So this one's very easy. So you do 4x plus 6 equals 8x plus 14. And then you do your switches. So for example, you move the x this way and then the number that way. So then that would be 4x minus 8x equals 14 minus 6. Yes, you still have to know how to solve equations. It's going to get hard if you don't know how to do this, and you're going to be so lost if you don't know how to do this. So work with someone. It's going to be minus 4x equals, this is going to be 14 minus 6 is 8. You can change the signs or divide by negative 4. So x equals negative 2. So you got the first one. Now here comes the tricky part. You have to plug it back in. Now you found out that x equals negative 2. So now you can plug it in anywhere. Choose the smaller y equals. Like this one has 4x. So I'm going to do y equals 4 times negative 2 plus 6. So this is what the substitution is. You found the x. Now that you have the x, you plug it back to one of the equations. Y equals negative 8 plus 6. Y equals negative 2. So my solution is going to be the x value, which is negative 2, and the y value, which is negative 2. Okay, let's repeat that again. So it's a lot of practice. It's just going to be a lot of practice over and over and over again. So let's do this one here. Remember, if they're both in y equals, all you have to do is just set them equal to each other. So it'll be 2x plus 11 equals 6x plus 23. Move the x's this way and the numbers that way. So that's 2x minus 6x equals 23 minus 11. Remember, you change the signs. So that's negative 4x equals, this is again 8. And then you can change the signs. 4x equals negative 8. And then divide by 4. X equals negative 2. Okay, after this, remember, you have to plug it back in. Now, it doesn't matter which one you plug it in. So I'll plug it in. Always choose the one where like the coefficient of x, which is like this number right here, you can see right there, is the smallest. So in the first equation is the smallest. So I'll do y equal 2 times negative 2 plus 11. That's y equals negative 4 plus 11, and that's 7. So my solution is negative 2, 7. Of course, these are going to get harder. So, right here, number 3. This one's not in y equals, and actually I think this one's even easier than the ones that are in y equals. The thing that's easy about the y equals is remembering what to do. You just set them equal to each other. But this one, it's harder because you don't remember what to do, but it's easier to solve for. So this is my y. Do you all agree? So here's my y. So I'm going to put this in here. And I'm going to rewrite the statement. So I'm going to do negative 3x. Instead of putting plus y, I'm going to put what y equals, which equals 3, which equals x plus 3. Right? And that equals 3. So then I combine. Negative 3x plus x is negative 2x plus 3 equals 3. And then I move the 3 this way. That's minus 3. Negative 2x equals 0. Change the signs. It's 2x is still 0. divide by 2, divide by 2, x equals 0. Now I plug it back in. Now where can I plug it back in? Well, the thing is easy. You're going to plug it in right there. So it'll be y equals 0 plus 3. Y equals 3. So my solution is 0, 3. So I'm going to do these like red arrows to show you where to plug it in and what to plug in. So make sure you follow along. This one. Remember, this. So let me see if I can highlight. I'm playing with this, guys. Let me see. Highlight. Yeah. This y is right there. So this goes there. Okay? So let's see. So instead of writing negative x plus y, I'm going to put negative x plus, I always put it in parentheses, 8x minus 13 equals negative 6. So negative x plus 8x is 7x minus 13 equals negative 6. Move this over here and make it plus 13. That's 7x equals 7. So divide by 7, x equals 1. Remember, now that you have this, you're going to plug it back in the y equals. Always plug it back in the y equals because that's the easiest thing to do. Okay? So it's going to be y equals 8, x was 1, minus 13. Y equals 8 minus 13. So y equals negative 5. So my solution is 1, negative 5. That's how you solve systems of equations, by hand. I'm going to keep on practicing because these are going to get harder. So again, and it's just repetitive. So, nothing's going to change. We already covered everything and taught everything I needed to teach. So, right here, this is my y, this is my y. So I do 3x plus 6x plus 1 equals 1. So that's 9x plus 1 equals 1. And I move this over here, that's minus 1. 9x equals 0. So x has to equal 0. Okay? Now this is the one that I plug in my y equals, but I plug it in the x. So it's going to be y equals 6 times 0 plus 1. This cancels. Y equals 1. And my solution, 0, 1. Okay? Now, 6. Ooh, 6 is tricky. Okay, who can tell me what is different about it? I ask as if y'all are going to respond. Here, they give you x. You see that? So I'm going to plug this in. I'm going to plug all of this in right here. So when I rewrite it, it's going to be, instead of writing x, I'm going to write negative 8y plus 4, because that's my x value, plus 2y equals 7. And then I combine my like terms, which are these two. So it's going to be negative 6y plus 4 equals 7. And then I move this over here, and it's minus 4. And it's going to be negative 6y equals 3. Change all the signs. And divide by 6. Y equals negative 1/2. I simplified that, guys. Now that that's negative 1/2, I'm going to plug this in right there. So it's going to be x equals negative 8 times negative 1/2 plus 4. So think about it. Negative and negative is positive, so we know the positives cancel out. But what is half of 8? That's 4. Plus 4, x equals 8. So my solution, now pay attention to the order. X always goes first. So it's going to be 8, comma, negative 1/2. I was afraid that this one was going to be really hard fractions, and you will get that. So you have the calculator. Remember, alpha y equals. Okay, let's keep on going. This one I'm going to do all of them. I want you to copy all of them, and I want you to have the work. So, right here. This one's back to normal, and it's going to be 4x. Let me make that. Here, let me erase that. Oh, I don't know how to erase. Let me see. Draw. Oh, there. Undo draw. Okay, there. I need to zoom in more. So, this one is going to be, this goes here. 4x plus 3x plus 5 equals negative 14. I combine these two. That's 7x plus 5 equals negative 14. I move that. 7x equals negative 19. So then, I divide by 7, and here's the ugly fraction I was afraid of. X equals negative 19 over 7. It can't get worse than 2 double primes. But whatever, I did everything right, and you need to learn how to work with fractions. Now, where am I going to plug this in? This right here is going to go right there in that x value, right there. So then I do y equals 3 times negative 19 over 7 plus 5. Okay, it's going to be y equals, if you just plug that in, like on your calculator, like just as you see it, you should automatically get your answer. Let me go get a calculator because I don't have one. I literally am typing it as I see it. I put 3 parentheses negative 19. Oh, I'm sorry, no. 3 parentheses alpha y equals negative 19 over 7 parentheses plus 5. So the simplified answer that I got on the calculator is 22 over 7. Negative 22 over 7. Let me rewrite that, because it's negative 22 over 7. And so my answer is going to be negative 19 over 7, negative 22 over 7. So let me show you what I did on the calculator. Let's see if I can do this. I want to insert... let me see. Hold on. I'm going to pause. Okay. So I found that I took a picture of the calculator, and that's what you input. So this right here, let me use a blue color. This right here is what I put in here. Do you see that? 3 times negative 19 over 7 plus 5, and that gave me that. So that's what I did, and I got negative 22 over 5, so that's how I get that. And that's how the answer is. So let's continue practicing. I'm going to move this out of the way. Let me see. I'm going to move this way, ignore it, and this one, sorry. So it'll be, again, I just do x plus, instead of my y, I'm going to put negative 2x minus 5 equals negative 4. So that's going to be negative x minus 5 equals negative 4. I move that, becomes plus 5. Negative x equals 1. So x equals negative 1 when I change the signs. Now I plug this one back in, remember, to my x's right there. And it's going to be y equals negative 2 times negative 1 minus 5. So that's y equals, negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2 minus 5, which is negative 3. So my answer is negative 1, negative 3. Okay? Yes, this does get messy, and it does get a lot of work. So now that I look at it, yeah, that's a lot of work. But we have to do it. We have to do it. So just keep doing this one. Now this one, the x is given. So it's the x that you substitute. Do you see that? So